Welcome to Extension Connection on Super Talk 1270. Thoughtful information and discussion with experts from both Burleigh and Morton County Extension Service offices. Extension Connection provides advice on family nutrition, issues in agriculture, lawn and garden, community leadership, homeowner concerns, and so much more. Live from the Super Talk 1270 studio, this is Extension Connection.
Good morning and welcome to the Extension Connection. I'm Peggy Netzer with the Family Nutrition Program at Burleigh County Extension Office. Here this morning with our interns for the summer and our friend Katie Junkie from Bismarck Burleigh Public Health. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Should we do intros, maybe?
I mean,
we know who you are, Katie, because you've been here before. So, Katie, public health dietitian. Summer interns, we have first up, we'll go with Kaylee.
Hi, I'm Katie Werner. I'm an intern.
I didn't tell them they had to talk.
Yeah, this is new. At the NDSU Extension, I'm a second year Masters of Public Health student at UND.
All right. And Mara?
I'm Mara Iborra. I am an NDSU dietetic graduate doing the Junior Master Gardener program at NDSU Extension.
Yeah, so far this summer, the girls, like Mara said, have been doing a lot of gardening with kids. A lot. We have 8 sites, right, guys? 9 actually, if we count our hunger garden. Mm-hmm. So we have 9 garden sites with kids that they are working with. So let's talk about that quick. Gardening with kids. You garden with your kids, Katie?
I do. Our neighbor across the street gave us some plants. We weren't going to garden this year, but decided to do a little garden bed in the back of the house. And my 3-year-old thinks it's the best thing ever and slowly watches them grow. A couple of the things we planted we don't normally eat. Our family doesn't like tomatoes, but we are growing them, and I think it'll be a good
Same with us.
A good way to introduce those to my son, and you can make tomato sauce or whatever with them too, and I think they will, or that he will take ownership, and it'll help him learn to try new things, as that is one perk of gardening with your children.
Yeah, we have some tomato plants at our house also, only because we were shopping one day and my 2-year-old decided we needed to get some plants. And I said, we don't really like tomatoes, but we bought them and now they're sort of growing. I thought they would have died by now because they were, in the front of our house in a little tiny pot, and we've had a lot of storms come through. We lost 3 huge trees and our tomatoes are still going strong.
Ours are too, and we don't always water them.
Yeah.
My
Same.
1-year-old tends to trample them and sometimes think they're weeds. So we're going to be lucky if we get through the end of the season with some produce. But I think, anytime a child gets excited about growing vegetables, you definitely want to take that opportunity, even if it is something you typically don't eat in your family. You can share it with someone else, donate it, do lots of different things with that produce. So
exactly,
good learning experience. Yeah. And I'm sure the girls, the interns, have had that opportunity with the other children. So do you guys want to share any of your experiences or fun things that the kids have?
Have the kids been excited?
For the most part, I think all the kids really enjoy it. And if you can, try to give them samples of things you're growing, or they definitely like that more, get more hands-on.
What did we give them last week, you guys? Let's talk about that.
The hummus. They really enjoyed the hummus.
I would say 80% of the kids like the hummus.
We even had some try radishes this morning, and they liked them. They're like, they're really spicy, but they're good.
Yeah, had a bite. I think some kids spit them out, but majority.
Some liked them.
Yeah, it's one of those things where, we're going through the program. We talk about different parts of the plants that we eat. So we talk about seeds, and then we made hummus, and we talk about roots, and they tried radishes. And it's one of those things where if you focus on the other benefits of eating vegetables, not eat this because it's healthy for you, but eat this radish because it's spicy and it's crunchy and it tastes good, and eat this hummus because it's really fun to dip stuff in it. And when you talk about food in that way, kids are far more receptive than if we go in there and we're like, here's some hummus, it's really good for you, eat it.
Last week I do a program at the Children's Library.
Yes.
And last week we played detective and had mystery bags with a fruit or vegetable in them where the kids got to, stick their hands in and feel the item that was in the bag.
We have a bucket. Mystery bucket. Every week.
The kids, they were a younger group, so they didn't, it was harder for them to guess. But one of the things I had in there was a star fruit. And the families that were there had not seen that before and were very interested by that item. And so I think it's a good opportunity if you can put away, even $3 in your food budget to try a new fruit or vegetable when you go to the grocery store to kind of open your horizons to new things. That can be a fun experience.
And not just the grocery store. Our farmers markets are in full swing now, and we have seen some new things this year. I've been at Bismarcket a couple of times. We were there yesterday with our garden program, and that makes 10 sites, you guys. Jeez. So there's some cool stuff that our local farmers are growing that even I haven't tried before, like garlic scapes. Have you ever had a garlic scape, you guys?
I don't know what that is.
I didn't know what it was either until Saturday. But it's good. I don't know. So, yeah, little things like that, just trying new things. And the thing with kids, Katie, we've heard this a million times. It's not about getting your kids to eat healthy foods. It's about getting your kids to be adventurous tasters, is what we like to call it. Getting them open to trying new foods and willing to try new foods and excited about trying new foods.
It actually takes a child 10 times, and not just a child, an
12.
individual, 10 or 20. So times to try a food and like it. And so you may just be starting that process with them. And so, I like foods now that I did not like when I was a child.
Same.
And so you're just opening those taste buds up to new things. And so I think that's exciting for a child too.
Have your kids been excited about something that really surprised you?
Beans.
Yeah, because
I'm not a bean eater, but my 1-year-old will eat black beans straight out of the can. And so I've learned to incorporate those into meals, and now I've actually developed a liking for them in smaller quantities. But he'll get a big old scoop of beans on his plate.
We eat a lot of beans in our house already. But you know what it was for me? Edamame. Like, he loves both of them, actually, because now the baby's eating food. They love to squeeze the pods and squirt the beans out of the edamame. Every single time one pops out, he squeals about it. Look at that guy! Look at him! He's like, yep.
Peppers, bell peppers.
Oh, yeah.
My 3-year-old won't even wait for me to wash it before he just takes the whole thing and eats it like an apple. Yeah. So I think that's great because those are some foods that I think kids aren't exposed to until later on. And so anytime you do have that opportunity to present them with a, something different than corn, potato, carrots, kind of the standard produce that we see here in the Midwest and in North Dakota is a good opportunity. And those, the farmers markets are a good way to be able to do that and shop locally too.
Yeah. We're going to take a quick break and we'll talk more about this when we get back.
Currently, it's 70.
Get the traffic and weather information you need anytime on Super Talk 1270 and online at supertalk1270.com.
Good morning and welcome back to the Extension Connection. I'm Peggy Netzer, Family Nutrition Program Agent with the Burley County Extension Office, here with Katie Jonke from Bismarck Burley Public Health and our summer interns, Mara and Kaylee. We were talking about getting kids to be adventurous tasters. And over the weekend, maybe it was last weekend, sometime recently, we were talking about, just our family, about how our kids, maybe it was actually when we were at the grocery store for our demo last time, we were talking about how our kids eat things that never would have found their way to the table when we were kids. Like, my kids love avocados.
That is.
Think about, when was the first time you had an avocado?
3 years ago. I don't know.
Yeah.
In guacamole.
As an adult, as an adult. Or kale chips. Like, we didn't eat that stuff when we were
spinach,
kids.
I think, is
spinach.
There's a lot I think kids are able to be exposed to now that even a few years ago, just because I don't think we were aware of them, or not that we didn't know they existed, but there just wasn't a push to try new things.
Yeah, and I don't know.
It was
maybe
kind
it
of
was
corn and
cost,
potatoes.
or it was, I don't know what, but kids eat things now that we didn't when we were kids.
And I think a great reason for that is, the things that they get from school
Yes.
has been wonderful, and they have been able to try a lot of new things in the schools that even when we were in school,
there's no way.
we didn't have access to. So
Yeah.
I think that's, we definitely want to commend the schools for that and the work that they do.
And even the farmers markets, like there was no farmers market when I was a kid. There were farm stands where you could buy sweet corn off the side of the road
And potatoes.
or melons or something, but not a farmers market.
Yep. So I think we've come a long way with that.
Speaking of farmers market, I think on the phone we have do we want to answer it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Is she there?
Hi.
Hi, Helen. This is Peggy.
Hey.
So we have Helen Hager, our market manager for Biz Market. So, Helen, do you want to give us some highlights for what's going on this weekend? I should have said before she called that this weekend is the Go Market. So it's expanded market. So in addition to all of our great agriculture vendors, we have artists and crafters and health promotion stuff there too. So, Helen, you want to give us the rundown?
Yeah, absolutely. So this Saturday down at Sertoma Park, we will have, as Peggy said, our extended market going on, which will have craft vendors and all that good stuff. But we also have entertainment from Nick Hornbacher will be playing music for us. We'll also have balloon animals by Matthew Wall. We all have face painting by Theo Art School, so lots of fun stuff for the kids to do. There'll also be the Imagination Playground will be set up, and as well as a bunch of other vendors coming down, our regular agricultural vendors, craft vendors. So there'll be a lot going on.
I just want to take a second and talk about the Imagination Playground. I love that thing. When I first heard about it, I was like, what? Kids are not going to play with that. Have you guys seen it?
Nope.
Okay, so it's awesome, yeah. It's basically these huge foam blocks in a variety of shapes, and kids can... So think about pool noodles, right? It's a whole bunch of blocks made out of that kind of thing. Kids can make whatever they want with it.
And kids of all ages. You have 1-year-olds playing with, 7-year-olds.
Yeah.
It's really a great thing to see.
It's awesome. And Bismarck Parks and Rec in the summertime brings it down to Bismarck. So it's a really great thing to have at the market, too. So your kids can go and play with that. It's in a shaded area. So
I kind of wish I had one for my house or could rent it out for a weekend or something.
Yeah, just borrow it.
A birthday party.
Yeah, it's great.
Event.
Helen, tell us some of the produce that's at the market right now.
At the market right now, you're going to be at the tail end of the early spring vegetables, so tail end of spinach, kale, green onions, maybe some radishes, things like that. But then you're also going to start to see things like peas. Peas are coming into the season, so you'll have...
I got some peas on Saturday.
Peas.
They were awesome.
Yeah, I just ate probably about a pound myself. But then you're also going to see some carrots. One of our vendors had carrots at yesterday's market.
Yeah.
Potatoes. You'll see some potatoes. And really, every vendor has a little bit of a different variety, things like that. So the best way to know what's going on is like us on Facebook, and we'll try to post pictures. But obviously, just come on down and see what's available, because that's the best way. There's always too much to mention.
Right. One other big development is that on Saturday we saw a food truck.
Yes. Posh Nosh food truck is coming down to market both Tuesdays and Saturdays, so they are planning on being there this Saturday as well. And they have awesome pastas, awesome paninis. They have this really awesome fruit pudding, and then they made this killer mac and cheese yesterday. That
Kaylee's husband ate that for
out.
dinner last night. It was good. It was really awesome. She tried it.
Oh yeah, I'm jealous. I didn't get any. I got to just try a little sample. I was like, oh.
Yeah. So Posh Nosh is what it's called, and their food looks and smells and apparently tastes amazing.
So tell us a little bit more about this food truck. I think that's kind of a new concept for the Bismarck area.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things that is just starting. I mean, it's kind of been super popular elsewhere, but we're just starting to see a lot more of them come down. And so Posh House is actually their first. They're coming just to Bismarck specifically just to start out. They've only been open for about a week now, so but
like
they're doing
5
great
days.
things. I know there's been rumors of other food trucks around town. You might have seen them over in the Kirkwood parking lot and things like that. But this is a local food truck, local people from Bismarck making everything from scratch. So it's a really cool way to dine. It's like a new experience for sure.
Yeah. And if people are buying food at Bismarck, it's really great to be able to sit in the park. You can sit either, on a picnic blanket under the trees in the actual park, or you can sit in the shelter and just listen to the musicians.
Absolutely.
I think
we
watch
had a
your
great
kids play on the
banjo player
playground or
yesterday.
whatever,
What's that?
I said, or watch your kids play on the playground while you sit in the park and just hang out.
Yeah, and that's what's so great is that the food truck's there from start to finish. I mean, anytime you come down, I know that sometimes people say, well, you might run out of vegetables or produce at one of the markets, but there's so much going on. It's more than just produce. There's so much happening. There's baked goods. There's pasture-raised meats. There's farm-fresh eggs. So there's a lot to be had.
Yeah. You can pretty much get everything you need at the market, I think. We do.
I seriously have not gone to the grocery store in about a week since I've been at market. It's just been, it's amazing how much you can find there. You can just bring your grocery list and just cross things off as you find them.
Yeah. Oh, one other thing that was at the market that I forgot to say, edible flowers.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. My kid was
flowers.
super excited about eating flowers. Yep.
Is there any health benefit to eating flowers?
I don't know that there is, other than, they're really pretty and they're kind of fun to eat. But if you throw them in a salad and it makes your kid eat the salad, I feel like it's totally worth it.
Absolutely. That's very interesting. And I think that would be something fun, like you said. Adventurous tasters.
Adventurous tasters. Helen, before you called, we were talking about some of the unique things you can find at the market that you don't normally find. And I said last Saturday I bought some garlic scapes, which was something I had never thought about ever.
They're awesome. I bought some too, and there's something you wouldn't think about them because it's like you don't see them in the grocery store, and I think when you're out of that element, but they're awesome grilled. I grilled mine. They were just
I was just going to ask what you did with yours because I haven't eaten mine yet.
I grilled them. I think they're really good because they get, that nice char to them. I guess a lot of people do pesto with it. They'll do a garlic scape pesto. And if you go, online, there's a ton of recipes for them.
Yeah. And we, a lot of our vendors, that's the thing about the market is the vendors will tell you what to do with it. Because I said, what is this garlic scape thing and what do I do with it? I bought it because the vendor told me, this is what you do with it and it's really good.
Absolutely. They're the best resource for everything. Like, if you see something that, one of our vendors had duck eggs, and I've never cooked a duck egg before, and, I had no clue what to do with it. And they're the best resource for any of those kind of products. So I always encourage people, if there's something that you want to try or you don't know what to do with, to talk to the vendor because they have loads of information. They'll have recommendations, recipes. They're the best. They are so awesome. I love our vendors.
I do too. I also got a really good lesson on steaks last Saturday.
Yeah, what was the lesson?
From our friend Gabe Brown. Yep. So, guys, any other questions about Bismarck before we let Helen go? No?
No, I think I'm looking forward to it on Saturday, especially being in that kind of peak growing season now where there'll be a lot more to choose from.
Yeah, and Bismarck actually started Tuesday markets yesterday. We were down there. Kaylee and Mara and I were down there. It was fun. It was fun to be there on a Tuesday afternoon and hang out outside.
Weather. We had a banjo player.
We had a banjo player dressed as Uncle Sam, not just a banjo player.
Where don't you see that?
It was
you really
awesome.
Don't see that anywhere. That
I was super impressed with him.
Amazing.
All right. Well, Helen, thank you for calling, and we will see you on Saturday.
Awesome. Yeah. See you Saturday, 10 to 1. Show Park, Shelter 5.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
So, Biz Market this weekend. Music, balloon animals. She said balloon animals. I didn't even know that was
phenomenal animals,
he
by the way.
Doesn't just make balloon animals. He can make you balloon vegetables. He can make you balloon glasses.
He can
my
make
you
son,
a hat.
Not a dinosaur, but a brontosaurus.
Yeah.
So he gets specific.
He's very specific. He's great. He can make penguins. I mean, anything, really. So, Biz Market this Saturday, Sertoma Park, Shelter 5 area. So that's right by the Super Slide / zoo. We're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to talk about some other programs when we get back.
Currently, it's 70.
Our own radio station. Not Fargo, not the Twin Cities. Proud to be Bismarck and Mandan's own Super Talk 1270.
Good morning and welcome back to the Extension Connection. I'm Peggy Netzer here with Katie Jonke from Bismarck Burley Public Health and our summer interns, Kaylee and Mara. And we were just talking about gardening with kids and getting kids to eat a variety of foods and the farmer's market, all of those things. And we're going to shift gears. So let's talk about sun savvy, Katie. If we're going to be outside gardening and going to the farmer's market, we should probably think about sun.
You definitely want to protect your skin and use sunscreen. There's some other techniques that we'll talk about too, but it's important to wear that sun protection as an adult or as a child because it will help cut your risk to for those risks of skin cancer later on in life. And there's a lot of simple things that you can do when even if you're just outside and if it's a cloudy day, you can still get those risks from the sun. So just because it's cloudy doesn't mean you shouldn't wear sunscreen. So protect your skin. Some tips, shade. So whether it's an umbrella, a tree, a hat, find those areas. Sunscreen, of course. And don't forget kind of those forgotten places using sunscreen. So tops of your head. So if your
especially
female
if you have light or thin hair.
So children,
like
especially females, like your part, then your ears, the tops of your feet. Those areas that kind of are prime areas to get burned. Every time you get burned, you increase your risk for developing skin cancer.
I spent one summer teaching canoe lessons, and the place that people missed the most was under your chin. And it reflects off the water, and if you're in a metal canoe, it's going to reflect off that and burn you under your chin. So, get it.
And hats are great, especially for children if you can get them to wear them.
Keep it on.
But, the tops of children's heads, babies, that's very important. Sunscreen that's SPF 30 or more is definitely recommended for that sun protection.
The spray-on ones make parenting a lot easier, don't you think? And you can't spray them directly on your kid. You have to spray it in your hands and then rub it on them, but the texture of it makes it rub in so much more easily.
And, you can definitely, rub it in. You can't just spray it and go. You got to rub it in. So, but it just makes application a little bit easier. Sunglasses, we kind of forget about protecting our eyes. So, make note of that and look for glasses that block those UVA and UVB rays. What else? I guess the reason we're talking about that is skin cancer is the most common type of cancer in the United States and is being diagnosed at much younger ages. So it's one simple way that you can help cut your risk and just take better care of your skin so that when you age, you don't add wrinkles too. So it's just, it's just like eating healthy, getting physical activity. This is another method of prevention. So sunscreen.
Yeah.
Use it.
We do need a certain amount of sun because we need the vitamin D from it. But we only need a little bit. And here in North Dakota, we do need that because, most of the year we don't see it. So this time of year, it is important to get some sun exposure. But if you have SPF 30, you're still getting the vitamin D.
And I know sometimes there's concern about whether you should put it on babies or not. The American Academy of Pediatrics does say it is safe to use sunscreen on small areas of your child. So don't hesitate about that. But the best thing if you have a young infant, just to keep them in the shade altogether and wear protective clothing. So even if it's a light romper or something of the sort, long sleeves and pants, but on the light fabric, that will protect their skin. Children and babies, socks, because their feet stick out and aren't covered by the shaded.
My kid will never wear socks or shoes. She's a fighter.
The shaded area. So, just make note of some of those areas that are going to get missed.
All right. So sun safety. Use your sunscreen.
Does anybody know, kind of a little quiz question, what is the peak time of sun exposure that could be?
Intern test.
1 p.m. I don't know.
Time
I think
frame.
It's more than 1 hour.
Time frame.
3 to 7.
1 to 5.
10 to 2.
10 to 2 or 10 to 4 even. So there is like a 4 to 6 hour window. 4 to 6 hour window to, that's when the sun is at its strongest. So be aware of that too. I mean, if you think about noon or 1 o'clock, the sun's right at the top and it's pretty powerful. So if you can, for most parents, that's nap time, so it works out pretty well.
Yep.
But as an adult, also protect your skin if you're out on the water enjoying those activities as well, because the reflection off that water can be harmful as well.
All right. So you have a program that I want to talk about, Katie. And this is a partnership. Like a lot of partners across the state are involved in this program. And here in the Bismarck area, it's big, right?
Yeah, we have our Way to Change Diabetes Prevention Program. And this is a Center for Disease Control evidence-based program. The North Dakota Department of Health, Bismarck Burley Public Health, and Burley County Extension have partnered to implement classes in Bismarck. We have one that is underway and kind of on its wrapping up phases. Yeah. But we will be starting another one in September, and we'll be partnering with the YMCA on this one. So to tell you a little bit about the program, it's a lifestyle change program focusing on skills to make lasting changes to help lose weight and to cut your risk of type 2 diabetes. So that's the ultimate goal of this program.
When you say diabetes prevention, this is not the same as we used to teach a program for people who had diabetes. This is not the same. This is not a program for people who have been diagnosed.
Correct. And I'm glad you clarified that. Eligible participants would be those that are at risk for pre-diabetes. Right. So if you have a family history, if you've had gestational diabetes, if you've had like a blood glucose test that has put you in range and your doctor has mentioned things like that. You do have to be 18. Being overweight makes you eligible. So you cannot have diabetes and you cannot be pregnant. So that it doesn't apply to those, but it does cover a lot of individuals. And the scary thing about prediabetes is that about 190,000 North Dakotans have prediabetes.
Think about that number, you guys. 190,000 North Dakotans.
So,
do you know what the population of our state is?
Like almost 700.
Yeah. That's a lot. That's almost a third of our population.
The other sad thing is 9 out of 10 of those people don't know that they are at risk.
Right.
Or have it. So, being aware of your health, whether that's through a physical, there is a simple at-risk questionnaire that can, give you a quick indicator if you are at risk. So it just goes through.
It adds up points, right, Katie?
Yep.
So you have to be a certain number of points to get
qualify
into your program.
So the couple of the criteria is if you are a woman that has had a baby, weigh more than 9 pounds, sister, brother, or parent. Sister, brother, or parent with diabetes. If your height and weight put you in a at-risk category. Getting limited exercise, and then if you're between 45 and 64 or over 65. So depending on your age can give you more points. So just some things to look at. Again, it's a lifestyle change. So this is a year-long program, and it's not just lose a bunch of weight and be done. We're talking about things that...
It's a commitment.
Stress. Learning how to look at fat and calories, ways to be active, negative thoughts, how to deal with, I ate a bag of Oreos. Now what do I do? Do I just give up or do I get back on track?
Add a pint of ice cream to it. Right?
Ways to stay motivated.
That's not what you want to do.
So just different lifestyle change techniques. Yeah. And it's a group setting, and so you learn a lot from the other group participants. And so there's a trained lifestyle coach to help facilitate these sessions. And so if you are interested, you can contact Burleigh County Extension, or you can contact me at Public Health to get more information on that.
And I like that you have the quiz included in there because, you might have one of those markers. Like, you might have had a really big baby.
I did, and I do have a marker.
Yeah. And that might be the only thing, though. So you could go through the rest of the list and think, oh, shoot, I have the first one. I have to go to this class. Well, maybe you don't.
No.
Maybe you have no other markers. Or maybe you're overweight, and so you have that marker, but nothing else. Yes. And so it's really a combination of things, just like a healthy lifestyle is a combination of things.
Absolutely. It's just one indicator and one factor that leads to your overall health picture, if you will. Mm-hmm. So, it's good to know your risks for things. If you've had a lot of sun exposure, again, kind of going back to that, you are at risk for skin cancer, but you know that. Or if you have heart disease in your family, you are at risk. But the healthy choices and the way you live your life can kind of dictate the outcome of those diseases.
Yeah. The peer support on this is a big thing, and I want to talk about that when we come back because we have to take a quick break.
Currently, it's 72.
Get the app called Radio Pup for your iPhone and take us everywhere you go. Bismarck and Mandan's own Super Talk 1270.
Good morning and welcome back to the Extension Connection. Peggy Netzer from the Burleigh County Extension Office here with our summer interns, Kaylee and Mara, and Katie Jonke from Bismarck Burleigh Public Health. And when we left, we were talking about the Way to Change Diabetes Prevention Program. And this program is, it's quite a commitment, but it works. There's a lot of data that backs it up. So what it is, Katie shared with us, 16 weekly meetings and then some follow-up meetings for how long? 6 months?
6 to 8 months, depending on it ends up being like a year-long
commitment. But the thing that you get with it is a lot of peer support and a lot of education to help you implement lifestyle changes.
The participants actually become friends within, and they lean on one another because they're going through the same thing. And so you might come out of this with, a person to call for new recipes or tips, or someone to, kind of latch onto I'm struggling, what can I do? A walking buddy, someone that you may have didn't know before, but you've shared this experience. So that's where a lot of the success comes from, is from that peer support within the group.
So I'm gonna pull Kaylee in for a second. So Kaylee has a bachelor's degree in kinesiology, so exercise, and is now a master's student in public health. And we were talking about peer support, and tell everybody what you told me about the peer support study.
Oh, peer support. There's actually a study that's going on right now that's talking about the impact of peer support and group support and how crucial it is for people that tend to have somebody to latch onto and use as an exercise buddy or make, those lifestyle changes. They tend to do better than those individuals that try to do it on their own. So it's kind of just proof that if you can find a buddy or someone to kind of make that change with, it's better to do it that way.
And I found that really interesting because, a lot of times you think about... Quit laughing at me, you guys. So, no, it's interesting because, you might think, oh, I'm going to do this, right? Okay, I'm going to do it. And you make that decision and you go through the process of, starting an exercise program or starting to eat more healthy food. If you're doing it alone, even though you might be successful at it, you're not doing as well as you could if you had someone with you.
And it's probably not long-term.
Yeah.
And it could be someone... like a significant other, or it could be someone at work. It could be someone that you don't really, more of an acquaintance, but that you can just check in, whether it's via social media or just a phone call, something like that. they can definitely be helpful.
Even if if you're starting an exercise program at some place like the Y, where they have staff in the fitness center, even just checking in with that person every day, even if it's just to say hi, it's a little bit of accountability that it adds. It makes a huge difference.
That is probably a very important piece, holding yourself accountable to yourself, and then also to someone else, to get you out of bed, or to make make that trip to the market or the grocery store to get your produce for the day or the week. All important pieces. And lifestyle changes is ultimately the successful way to live a healthier lifestyle.
Yeah,
it doesn't come through making quick fixes.
And we've seen other research that shows that if you are surrounded by people who make healthy choices, you are more likely to make healthy choices. Think about it. If you go out for dinner and everyone at the table is ordering a salad, what are you ordering?
Peer pressure.
Not a cheeseburger and fries, probably.
And it works in the reverse,
reverse, yes.
If everyone orders a cheeseburger and fries, you're probably not going to order that salad. So to work with those things...
That's one of the things you guys
start
teach.
The trend.
How do you deal with that?
Order first.
Yeah.
Order first and start the trend.
Yeah.
Having a plan before you go. You
can look at menus online.
That's
Pick
actually
out what you want.
One topic we do touch on is eating out, and we spend a lot of time in multiple sessions just addressing that, because that is such a concern for the participants, is those social events, whether it is eating out or
birthday
weekend
party,
barbecue, graduations.
Weddings.
Yep.
It's
How
that
do you
time of
deal
year.
with those situations?
Mm-hmm. I think it's so important, that peer support piece. And what you guys are doing with this program is really, really awesome, I think. And so I hope that, again, you have a full class, and people, again, let's just say, if you are interested in this program, call Katie at Public Health or call our office, 221-6865. I know our number. Yours?
355-1555.
There we go.
So, again, reach out. The Way to Change Diabetes Prevention Program, even if you just want more information and want to share it with yours.
I mean, you have
definitely
to
can help you with
qualify
that.
to get into the program. What's the cost, Katie? This is something that's
this
always
one-
surprising to me.
This one is $50, but there is an opportunity for a $25 reimbursement upon program completion. So if you stick with it, you can get half of it back.
for
So
a whole year of support and education.
and this is actually
That's a lot.
a very small amount compared to some of the other programs going on around the state, and then in states near us. Montana is one example.
Right.
So I think it's worth
It's a lot
in
of
the long
benefit
run.
for a very small investment. You're investing time, but that time is going to have a huge benefit too.
Yeah, and it is. It's just 1 hour a week for 16 weeks. So if you can kind of find the time for that, it will make changes in the long run.
All right. So one of the things I want to talk about before we have to go is worksite wellness, because in our office, Kaylee is trying to get us all moving a little bit. Yeah. She's put together a few workouts. Mara did one. I haven't had a chance because I have to go places every time.
Let me know. I'll come.
Yeah. So we've had a few workout days, and next time I'm going to be there, I think.
Good deal.
I hope. Maybe next week I'll be there. So we're just doing like 15 minutes.
Yep.
That's it. But it's enough. Mara, you couldn't walk the next day.
Yeah, that was embarrassing. But
the thing is, she's in good shape already. It's not like she's way out of shape and then she did 15 minutes of activity and she couldn't walk. She's in pretty good shape and then couldn't walk. So you can make a huge impact in 15 minutes.
You can.
The nice thing about that is, a minimum of 10 is recommended. So 15 minutes, few times a day, you would be at the target goal.
If you do it twice, you're at your 30 minutes, if you think about it that way. And it doesn't have to just be cardio. People are like, oh, I don't want to run during the day. I'm going to get all sweaty and then I have to change. You're not running.
What are some things you can do, Kaylee?
Well, we have a bench outside, so we utilize the bench.
Picnic table.
Yep, the picnic table. So we did some dips
We
on
should
that.
say that our picnic table is made of cement, and
It
so
is.
it will not tip over on us.
No, that's very true. Or you could use the curb in the grass, and so you can
Curb
just,
definitely won't tip over on you.
That's very true. Chairs, anything that you have
Without wheels.
in your office, you can use. And I mean, you can as simple as pick up a box that's a little heavy and do some like bicep curls or whatever it may be. So just find things in your office that you can use. There's really no excuse to not work out. There's things that you can make and find in your own area.
So sitting, we know, is like a major health risk. Something came out recently, Katie, remember that sitting is almost as bad for you as smoking?
Yeah, there's research that kind of connects the two or has kind of the same risks in different ways.
Right.
An example being that if you are at a desk job where you sit too long, so even if you're a regular exerciser, maybe you go to the gym every morning, for a half hour, if you get that in, but then you go to your job and sit for 8 to 10 hours, that is that puts you at risk. You want to be able to move frequently throughout the day, so every hour, just moving for 3 minutes, walk to get a drink of water, use the restroom, grab a snack, whatever it might be. Keeping movement. So set those reminders, in your email or on your phone to just get up and move, whether it's stretching or walking in place. But to get
using your stepper.
To get those heart benefits, though, you do need to do a minimum of 10 minutes. But movement is just as important, too.
Even if you're at your desk and you're sitting and you just stand up and do a few squats, it's enough to shock your body into like, okay, enough with the sitting. We need to do something.
Or even just making a small change, like getting an exercise ball to sit on.
Exercise ball to sit on. I used to have
Stability
one.
Ball.
And now, Katie and I both have desks that we can stand at.
Oh, it's my most favorite thing ever.
I agree with you. And most of the time I'm standing. Are you mostly standing?
Probably 85% of my day is standing, depending on what I'm doing.
The last week, was it last week? Yes, last week I was doing a lot of writing and like having to go through paperwork, and so I had to sit to have the space. I was annoyed. Remember I said to you guys, I've had enough of this sitting. We got to do something else.
I can't go to meetings or conferences anymore without being painfully. I can't do it anymore. My body's has switched gears.
Hard.
So standing too much isn't good either. And so there is a healthy balance between the two. But know that is actually a big trending thing, standing workstations, or, making your own, whatever it might be. So if that's something you are interested in and want more information, you can either call Extension or Public Health, and we can give you kind of a resource to connect with.
We can tell you what we have. We can tell you what other people in town have. Yep. So the message of that is move more when you can, but also every hour at least, change your position. So if you're sitting, stand up. If you're standing, sit down or take a walk or do something. Don't be in the same position. That's the hard thing on your body. So we are at the end of our time, you guys. So I'm going to call it a day. We will be back in 2 weeks. Not we, but someone from the office will be back in 2 weeks. And again, our phone number, if you have any questions, 221-6865, or Katie's is 355-1555.
Thanks, Peggy.
Yep, bye.
You've been listening to Extension Connection on Super Talk 1270. News and information from NDSU Extension Service and representatives of Morton and Burleigh County Extension offices. Tell your friends to listen in for the next Extension Connection, exclusively here on Super Talk 1270.
ABC News, Super Talk 1270. Accurate news, stimulating talk. This is KLXX AM, Mandan, Bismarck.